Welcome to another episode of Full Circle with me, Onyx. And I want to talk about Pisces, dating in Pisces, how to get through to your Pisces. And so I think most people kind of bond through uh having conversations, you know, talking it out, getting in an argument, making up, and some people really look forward to the makeup process, and I would say Scorpio. Uh, and then other people don't. Uh, Pisces is very okay. I have a Pisces moon. My Venus is in Pisces. Um, and today is my day off, and all I want to do is just be in my quiet space. My roommates are gone, and probably the only thing that brings me comfort is silence, is quiet. That's how Pisces restores their energy. So, and while their energy might be being restored, purified in the quiet, in the solitude, in their little workshop, in their creative space, in their head, however it is, uh, then creativity could happen. So, uh, if they get lost in the flow of their creative sport, their addiction, whatever it is, if they're positive, it might be painting, it might be a project. Getting lost in the process could help them find that serenity, that nirvana, that bliss, and it's their lifeline. So, I wanted to bullet out, 5 things that Pisces that could create a healthy relationship with a Pisces, or a Pisces needs to have in a relationship. But then obviously when I get start talking, I have to like fill in blanks, and it's also a creative transformation. So, we there is a very deep need for this solitude, this alone time. And I think, of course, I'm a Pisces, so I think we all have every other sign. We are all the signs. Uh, and at different times and phases in your life, you will need to draw upon those abilities. Be a warrior at work, Aries. Have firm boundaries and know your shit. Capricorn, Earth signs. Or take pride in your abilities. I'm going to say Virgo. Things like that. Be a powerhouse, be a badass, enjoy fucking everyone over for the thrill of fucking everyone over. I'm going to say that's Scorpio. There's a hidden knowledge that in order to create fire, there has to be friction. In order to create life, there has to be friction. Bodies rubbing up against each other. That's friction. And it draws forth life. So I would say that's a very, whether the scorpion is fully conscious of it or understanding why they're embracing the friction, the I feel like that's going on. Like there needs to be a chemical reaction, and that is Scorpio. Uh, but anyways, so at different times, whether it's of the day, lifetime, hour, we are always moving through the signs, through those energies. And sometimes we are called to channel one of those energies for a lifetime. And so I'm channeling the moon in Pisces for a lifetime or many lifetimes. Uh, and find the gift in being who you are. When you really understand, this is also about finding your purpose in life and honoring your soul. So, of course, we're going to talk about this in a Pisces video. And I feel like, you know, when you really embrace, uh, not everyone is destined to be your sign for all you cross watchers out there. When you really embrace it, like, people are like, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? The zodiac told you what your fucking purpose is. Look at your sun sign. Look at your moon sign. Your moon sign, I could say, this is the building blocks of who you are. These are hidden resources and talents. These are things you're good at. Those are your crutches. That's your default mode. And that's also the place where you retreat to when you're alone. And so, in a weird way, that's like your backup plan. If your fucking sun sign plan didn't work out, you can support it with your moon sign. So, I have an Aries sun sign. So, how do I support the Aries in me? I have to support it with my Pisces moon. Or opposing planet, Venus, which also happens to be in Pisces. So it's going to be arts, creativity, alone time, solitude, self reflection, philosophy, spirituality, all that is going to turn me into what kind of warrior, what kind of Aries? A spiritual warrior. So I will be, called. The hero's journey, we're all called. We're all forced out of complacency, and it's going to be a spiritual force, probably. Uh, you know, Moving on. We got the gist of it. I really want to just say, when you feel blessed for being who you are, honor who you are going to attract the right partner and the people in your life. You're going to naturally separate, polarize, no overthinking. Those that support you on whatever sign path you are will support you, and those who don't get it, don't understand it, who are ignorant, will not support it, and they will choose to be the opposite. That opposition will help naturally clarify with your five senses where you need to put yourself and where you don't need to put yourself. So if people are opposing you being a Cancer sign, say, thank you, I'm not going to waste my energy there, as I glow up and be more Cancerian. Uh, Obviously, not everyone can handle the intensity of the Cancerian sign 24 hours a day. So back it up with some other planetary aspects, because it's hard to be in the water. Even human body, it gets all wrinkly. The skin can only handle so much water. We have to get out of the shower. We have to get out of the rain. We have to get out of the snow. So I love you, water signs, myself included. Just understand we need time to breathe, dry out, go visit the desert, go visit the mountains, go take, So we can get stuck too much in our sign. So use your opposing sign. So if you really are into your sun sign, really start to balance that out with your moon sign. So moving on. What is Pisces seeking in a relationship? Spiritual transcendence. That's what it is. It's like Pisces has tasted the essence of the universe. So whether they realize it or not, they're always wanting another hit, another trip, another psychedelic hit of this higher state of consciousness, and they're going to try to find it through love. They're going to try to find it through their job. They're going to try to find it through everything. And there's a dissatisfaction with life, the 3D world, if the 3D world can't offer them a transcendent experience, a moment. And so I find for myself, I fill in the blanks with fantasy. I like overlay the rose colored glasses. I will heighten the experience. I'll put on those rose colored glasses and tell myself that the relationship I'm in is more loving than it is, more meaningful than it is, more romantic than it is. And so I'm kind of like putting a spiritual band-aid on life, you know, spiritual bypassing my whole existence on the 3D plane. So what you can do, what they need is a comforting space, a space of permission to be themselves. When you can provide that space, be non-threatening, be non-violent, uh, not making it worse, then the Pisces is going to feel safe. They're going to lighten up. And then you're going to get a full measure of unconditional love without any filters and psychological conditions on it, without any spiritual bypassing, without any rose-colored glasses. You'll get a stream of divinity. So it's really interesting. You can get the relationship that legends are made of with a Pisces, but there are conditions that need to be met. You know, it has to be a secure relationship. So, anyways, so yes, that's the number one thing they're looking for. You can find transcendence in the mundane. That's very zen. You know, you can find enlightenment in your bowl of rice. You know, you can wake up to it in the ordinary. So, depending upon your relationship, your personality, and your Pisces, you can have a very everyday experience, but it gets this magical glow, this energy of Pisces put on it that makes it a, a transcendent moment. Not really a memory, but a moment that it's like stepping into a lucid dream with a Pisces, honestly. So I love bringing people into my magical bubble where logic dissolves and they get a breath of infinity. Honestly, a breath of infinity. So, and speaking about that, oh my god, I wrote a poem about infinity. Hold on. So, before I read my poem, I want to explain I was putting down my magic book and thinking about my sweetheart. And me and my sweetheart are like separated in different countries and different circumstances. But it doesn't change the fact, the universal fact, that this person has touched the center of my being. So I was like, we're on like an empathic wave. And that is a big thing to a Pisces. A true Pisces is in touch with their heart. And there is a level of intuition that is unmatched. There is a level of empathy that is unmatched. There's a level of love that is unmatched when the Pisces has done the inner work or has maintained that heart connection and they're not afraid of those cosmic feelings, the cosmic in their own heart. So I was feeling our connection, and then I was just thinking about how good it feels to feel that deep. It was a gift I was giving myself. So to be able to understand that I have those deep feelings buried inside of me, it was a beautiful gift to myself. So that's part of self-love, you know? And literally, I have to say, about 30 minutes before, I was feeling the opposite. So, anyway, yeah, welcome to Crazy Science. But let's go back to the poem. So, this poem is dedicated to my special person. And here it is. Like, literally, this is so Pisces. Together in eternity, we dream of reality, knowing it comes to pass, reaching infinity at last. Drop the mic. Did a Pisces, did Neptune himself fall in love with a mortal? Did Zeus fall in love with Ganymede? From the perception of this godliness, they understand infinity. They also understand eternity. And so that's what that one was about. Then I wrote another one, because literally I can just speak poetry all day long. Like, that's my natural language. I have to learn human speak 3D mode to talk to everyone else. But in a Pisces mind, everything is symbolic, everything is poetic, everything is touching the essence of life. So heal the separation between me and you is just illusions. We make believe a history of stories of a you separate from me. And all we do is waste time for eternity, yet hold hands in infinity between the value of time, or the veil of time, is just you and me, always as meant to be. So the second poem was kind of explaining the first poem, but it's the same understanding. So coming to an understanding is very important. Now, this is actually the way to communicate with your Pisces. Conversations aren't about proving a point, being right. Some people need an apology, whether they're right or wrong. It's an ego thing, it's a personality thing. But for Pisces, it's a wisdom thing, wisdom and understanding. I only engage in things if it helps me understand and makes me wiser through that understanding, through that involvement. So, in a weird way, Pisces ain't there to play. It's a very deep experience, and the depth that they're seeking isn't pain. It's not. So, it's not exactly the emotions. It's not exactly the things that you do and say. It's not exactly the memories. Like, for a Pisces, depending upon how deep they are, Pisces fucking moon, that's a deep sign. It's, and on one level, not even the experience, but it's the wisdom gained. So if you're going to fight with your Pisces, if you're going to have dramas, if you're going to live together, what are you gaining out of it? What is the Pisces getting out of spending time with you? If they're not really getting something, a treasure out of that time spent together, it's surface. Like, that's why things don't matter. You pick the show, you pick the dinner, you make the choices. We're here in the prison planet of Earth for a certain allotted amount of time. The circumstances don't matter so much as the quality. So, moving on from transcendence, we go to divine love and compassion. We kind of roundabout went there. Divine love. Love is timeless. Time stops. It dissolves in love. It transcends time. It's fourth and fifth dimensional. It's all encompassing, all embracing, all knowing. It's not like a party. It's not like religious love. It's not like love bombing people. It's not like validating all these little actions, validate approval for your insecurities. That's not love. It's not staying tied together like mommy and daddy. That's not love. Love is kind of like appreciation and wonder and awe and inspiration, uh, all wrapped into one. It's a it's like a 360 degrees understanding, and also compassion's a big one. So love and compassion, divine love and compassion, is part of what they're seeking. It's also what they have to give, and through the giving they feel it and receive. So there's no room for guilt or trying to balance out the scale with a Pisces generosity, because it feels just as much as good to give as it does to receive, depending once again on the level that they're at. So we talked about empathic and telepathic connections. So I like today I was like, oh, who am I going to hang out with? Let me feel, let me dream, let me ponder, let me vision what that was going to look like. So I wanted to hang out with this lady. But in the back of my mind, I was, I just kind of reach out with my feelings, and I'm like, I think she's depressed. Uh, I think she's kind of a low vibing person, and it makes sense, because her husband died. So she's still in the grieving cycle. So maybe it's not good to visit her or push her. So I removed myself from the equation. Uh, the addiction to help people who are grieving. Uh, So there was a little bit of empathy and telepathy going on. And I notice I make all my decisions that way. So once again, the surface doesn't matter. It's the deeper stuff. There's a deeper logic of intuition going on. And it's accessed through deep feelings and quiet mind, you know. And also I was thinking during this connection I have with my very special person, uh, I'm like, what do I want? Do I need to live in their house? Do I need to spend time together? Do we need to do all these activities validating our relationship? Or, like, what is it? Is it really the sex? And underneath it all, it was like, I think I just want a connection. And I want and in the end, I want the connection so strong that I don't need to be there. So don't I already have what I want? And isn't it me? Isn't it I need to be responsible for that connection? So, yeah, having a solid connection is highly important. And that I feel like that makes or breaks the relationship with the Pisces. If they don't feel safe, you break the connection, aka self-harm. Another thing, uh you need to have something about you that is inspiring, godlike status. So it doesn't have to be all across the board, but the Pisces in their own way needs to see something amazing about you that they can worship, that they can put equal to these lofty visions of transcendence that they already access. It's like, why would I hang out with someone who doesn't inspire me, who doesn't have a value or a character that I would like to acquire myself, that I would like to wrap myself up around, you know? Like, it's like we're inspired by the gods because they embody idealistic qualities. So if you have the potential to embody one of them, it might be love, it might be kindness, it might be success. You might be very successful at your job. You're very good with animals. Like, those are godly qualities, you know, at the level of human, you know, I mean, obviously, we're not. The fact that you can manifest kindness towards animals, whoa, like that's dating material. Or the fact that you can not be judgmental and process life or interactions, that's amazing. You know, so you got to show them something. We all have to do that in relationships if we're honest with ourselves. You know, we're attracted people who, you know, they're doing their thing, they're being themselves, and they're doing a damn good job at being themselves. That's hot. So that's probably like the number one way to attract a Pisces. Uh, so we already talked about safety. This is a big one. No matter what you're doing, no matter how crazy and wild it is, no matter how dark and deep, there has to be safety. Through that safety, you keep the connections good and you keep out the doubt. Because Pisces, their mind is going one way, their feelings are going two other ways. Like in a Pisces mind, they're like, should I stay or should I go? I could go either way at any moment. I could go either way. I could go either way. I could go either way. And when you create that safety, then they go, oh, I now choose. So it might take a while to choose. And each time you're unsafe, you postpone that important decision. Should I stay or should I go? So I had a really great friend. I considered her my best friend for 8 years. And I prided myself on not getting too close too fast, not overstaying my welcome, and slowly moving into this relationship. And then we finally broke up. Things got crazy. and and on one level I felt, oh my God, am I two-faced? And I'm like, no. During the whole ride, there was something uncertain. Certainty wasn't created in the relationship. There was too much complexity or bipolar nature or whatever it was. That certain level of safety and permission weren't there, which then dissolved, then never allowed fully the deep connection, and then created uncertainty. And because there was an element of uncertainty, it never solidified fully, it never fully gelled together. And so when I left, I was like, was I just a phantom? You know, in self-reflection, which is what Pisces love to do. Reflect on those things after. You know, and they're always reflecting, even during. And so if you're not getting the full experience of your person, there's probably not enough safety for them to drop down into their bodies and be fully present with you. Be there. So I would say, because you're competing against their fantasies, you're competing against their imaginary world, you're competing against their hopes and wishes and visions of a better future. You're also competing against the horrible memories that they're still probably trying to work out. You know, why was I dropped into that family? Why is this my karma? You know, why, you know. So you're competing either against their psychological baggage or their idealistic hope of a better world, lofty ideals, idealism. You need, that's what you're competing with. It's not actually the Pisces you're competing with. And so when you create a space, a moment in time that is refreshing and healing and positive, then the Pisces will drop down, be in your world for a minute, and you'll have a great time. And then maybe they'll assist you and raise you up to their level. Depth, love, meaning, we already talked about it. So I would say that is your roadmap to creating great relationships with everyone, really. Because why aren't we present with each other, looking into each other's eyes and seeing the truth? Vulnerability. we may talk about it, and you have to build that connection over a while. So, if you really want to get to know someone, you got to spend time, moments in time, quality little moments, and really start to understand each other. And you can do it. Uh, but yeah, it's very, very. So, also, another thing before we run out of time is if I don't have visions of you, if I don't have dreams of you, if I don't have this, if I'm not having an experience of you on another channel, in my mind, we're not close. So after my breakup with my best friend, I had, after a while, when things heated down, when things cooled down, we started having dreams together. And then that really helped me choose, yes, she's truly a friend, you know? And so now I consider her like on, so we're having a deep friendship, but now it's been moved from the physical realm to the dream realm. And me and my special person were in the heart centered realm. So people have their places uh, on how they can be close. And so work on feeling from your heart, work on, being a decent human being, get out of bully mode or victim mode because they're the same thing. Uh, and then work on your intuition, heal yourself, be healing to others, be a positive force, a force for good in the world, and your Pisces will want to be around you. If your Pisces is not laughing, relaxed, and having jokes, they don't feel safe. That is also your red flag that your relationship is not doing good. Because, once again, if they don't drop into the physical world, embody their body and their life, so if their life is falling apart, they don't feel safe, or they might need a little assistance on creating a safe foundation. So this is what you could do for your Pisces. Help build a safe environment for them. Help them understand that all their energy is kind of outside of their body and they need to bring it in. And so go to places where they would actually want to be with people who they'd actually want to be with. Quit sacrificing yourself for everyone else that's not at your level. Give yourself some self-love by choosing quality, a win-win. So